Good morning, welcome back to the channel and another video. Today I thought I'd bring you up to speed with the progress on George. Now this is a 1979 Austin Allegro. I've had him for a few months now and he's been slowly getting recommissioned in my ownership. So yeah, the car was actually only used for 3 years. What I suspect happened was, and from what the previous owners told me, was that the car had a small front end accident. Certainly the previous owner had to replace the bonnet, which the hinges were bent for some reason. The front grille and bumper were also damaged, but there's now the structural damage to the vehicle, which is a bit odd. So I think that was the reason the car was laid up, or maybe it shook the guy's confidence and he gave up driving, but it certainly hasn't been used on the road since 1981. So when the owner actually acquired this car, he actually bought it as a spares project, not knowing how good the vehicle was. When he had a chance to look over the vehicle, he thought, well, what do I do with it now? So he scratched his head for a bit, attempted to put it in for an MOT, it failed on a couple of bits, lockdown happened, and then never went back for a retest. So some time passed, and then he decided to put it up for sale, and this is when I come on the scene. The main reason I can't use George at the moment is sadly his suspension has failed. Unlike a normal car, where you have a shock absorber and a spring, these have hydrogas suspension. That was a system the British Leyland incorporated into a lot of its cars throughout their production. The Metro, the Ambassador, the Princess, they all had this setup. Unlike a normal car, where you have a shock absorber and a spring, these have gas-filled and nitrogen-filled chambers. They incorporate a fluid and a gas section. British Leyland gave the working life of these cars about 15 years. They were never designed to be regassed. But ironically, that's not what's happened in this case. Ironically, that's not what's failed. The front to rear linking pipes on one side have perished. So unfortunately, I can't drive the car at the moment. I did attempt to patch them up in a previous video, but with the pressure that's behind them, it failed very, very rapidly. So there's a couple, Ian and Dawn Kennedy, they're going to be coming out to me next month. There might even be some video footage if I can persuade them to let me film them, fingers crossed. But you might see that being repaired. That would be nice, certainly. Then I can actually start using the car, which is why I bought it. So other little jobs I've got to do: front brakes need overhauling. The calipers, I've cleaned them up already, but they could really do with a decent overhaul. Change the brake fluid. I need to drain the fuel tank. That's another job I've got to do, because there is some stale fuel in there at the moment. It's not running wonderful. It starts okay, but it needs cleaning out really. What other little jobs I've got to do? Yes, now I worked on the carburetor last week on replacing the choke cable. I noticed the ends were frayed. There's not enough meat on the cable to cut the cable back, so I've got a replacement here. I might even do that in this video. There's two ways I can approach this. One is to replace the entire choke cable, which involves taking the steering cowling apart. Now, because I just bought the steering cowling, and because they're very fragile and they're like hen's teeth, I think I'm actually going to remove the cable in situ, leave the outer sleeving in place, which means I should be able to thread the new cable through the old sleeving. It might work, because that's the only part that's failed, so that might be a bit of a quick fix rather than have to replace the entire cable, which isn't a hard job in itself. It just means disturbing the shroud around the steering column, and I don't really want to touch that because it's a bit fragile. So I might get on with that in a bit. So yeah, obviously a few little things to go through, and fettling and recommissioning and whatnot, which is what I've been doing over the last few weeks. So yeah, I'm glad you guys are watching the videos and enjoying them. I've had some nice comments, so thank you very much for that. Yeah, so I'm going to get on this choke cable now, I think, and see how we get on with that. So I did this last week. The first thing to do is get the air duct off. Well, it's actually almost come off, so I'll bring the camera in. As you can see, there's not much meat left on that cable, so I'm going to remove it from this and leave the outer sleeving in place. So hopefully I can just thread the new cable through. But what I'll do, we'll take that out, we'll leave it in a straight line. So yeah, because I can thread the new cable through that, and that'll give it the best chance to, I'll make it easier to thread the new cable through. Right, so I've actually got a genuine New York stock cable. I managed to locate one of these online. The light's going. Rather than having like a Motor Factors cheap and cheerful one, which doesn't look quite right. And I like things to look correct in the car. So what I plan to do is remove the outer cable, which just pulls through. We can take that out of this sleeving and then hopefully reuse the sleeving that's in the car. That's going to save a lot of time and pressure and avoid, like I said, taking the cowling apart. Right, so you can see that here the end of the cable is frayed. What I'm going to do is cut this back so when I withdraw it from the sleeving it doesn't sort of jam up inside. So let's just do that now. Wow, that works. And now hopefully I can pull this cable through. So there's probably a few people screaming at the camera now saying just do the job properly, but the issue is these steering cowlings are quite fragile. I know it's only a few screws holding it together, but I want to avoid any problems. So what I'm going to do is just hopefully pull this straight through. If it all goes horribly wrong, then I've not lost anything. There we go, that's the old cable out. So now I've just got to refeed the new one through it. So all I've got to do is just feed this cable through. I'll put the camera down and make some progress and then come back to you once it's all gone, hopefully according to plan. Well, with a bit of fiddling, isn't it nice when things actually go right? So there we go, that's a new cable. What I've got to do is just thread that through the choke linkage now, lock it off and then snip off what I don't need. That's going to be a lot easier. Thank goodness for that. The hardest bit I find is getting the cable through this bracket, because there's a tiny little eye that obviously it helps if the cable's in good condition, which it is. Up straight through, there we go. Take a slack up of that. There we go. Marvellous. Right, so with you sat there, I'm just going to get in the car and try that. Right, choke cable installed. I should pull out and lock, which it does, perfect. Couple pumps of the throttle. Seems to be working. Marvellous, job done. Right, the car's back in the garage and I decided I need some tea, so I'm going to stop it there. Thanks ever so much for watching. Sorry it's been a quick one today guys, but it was just an update video really with a bit of tinkering. So the next big video is going to be the suspension. I'm looking forward to doing that, and that should be a good video for you guys. So thanks ever so much for watching as always. Keep subscribing if you haven't, and see you in the next one.